Hello, everyone. My name is John DePietro.
And I'm Bob Zagami with the Camper Report Show.
And on this Camp Report show, Bob, I talk to the RV blogger, which is really the RV bloggers, Mike and Susan. They've got a great story on how they have grown their business up to almost 250,000 subscribers in both Facebook and YouTube. An amazing story of new RVers.
Nice people. I'd like to see you can run into them when we can. I'm going to the RV Women's Alliance and Tracy Engelmeyer, and she's going to cover all the things that they have going. If you think back 5 years ago when they started this and had trouble getting, wait till you see what Tracy's got to talk about.
Yep, there we go. It's a great
Yeah.
group, and maybe we'll see them in the very near future. So those stories, plus all the news of the week, and where are we getting our news? Where do we go to find all these news headlines?
RV Business with Rick Kessler and Woodall's Campground Magazine with our good friend Ben Quiggle. Not that Rick isn't our good friend, but
Now you're going to get them talking about it.
right. Now they'll be arguing. Yeah.
Whatever. So stay with us, everyone. We have a great show for you here, right here. Where, Bob?
On the Camper Report Show.
Attention, RV owners. Don't let roof damage rain on your parade. Discover RV Roof Magic, the industry-leading RV roof sealant for restoring and protecting your RV roof. Over a 30-year history of success, our advanced solvent-based formula chemically cross-links to your existing roof, making them one in the same. RV Roof Magic never needs a primer and only requires one coat. It provides superior waterproofing and durability, ensuring years of worry-free travel. Say hello to a leak-free future and goodbye to costly repairs with RV Roof Magic, your partner in RV roof care, and a 10-year warranty as well. Visit rvroofmagic.com/RVlife and extend your roof another 18 to 20 years. And welcome back to the Camp Report Show. For the news segment, my name is John DePietro. That young gentleman is Bob Zagami. And Bob, all kinds of news. Old, new, good, bad, whatever you want to talk about. But there's all kinds of news this week. And the big news is something that I've never seen before in the 20 years that I've been around this industry, is that Thor, the parent company of both Jayco and Tiffin, made a startling announcement regarding big luxury diesel pushers. Fill us in on the headlines.
It was a shock. I opened that up and it was a shock, and I don't think there was anything leaked out about this because they just had the Tiffin National Dealer Meeting in Nashville, and certainly somebody would have said, "Oh, by the way, do you know what Jay goes?" There was
Oh,
nothing,
by the way.
and
Yep.
Bob Martin was down there too. But
Yep.
they're going to take. I'll tell you, in this case, I agree with everything Bob Martin's doing here. The diesel market is shrinking. The Integra diesels, just the diesels, are going to be moved to Tiffin starting January 1st of next year. They're going to continue production in the Elkhart area until the end of the year. However, the Integra Bs, Cs, and gas class As are staying with Jayco and still, according to this, under the Jayco name.
Yep.
But diesel pushers have been shrinking as part of the marketplace, and they've got two of the best ones in two different buildings with two different purchasing and engineering
Oh,
and
not just two
people.
different buildings. I mean, two different plants that are at least 500 miles away from each other.
Correct,
So
correct. So
now
I, I think it's
the thing that I couldn't glean from the release is that is the Integra name on high-end diesel pushers going away? Are you only
I
going to see that name
I
under
It
Tiffin?
didn't come out and say it, but
Oh,
in reading one of the paragraphs, I thought that it would be going away because it said it's going to be kind of integrated into
the
the
Tiffin
Tiffin
brand.
product line. So I
Right.
think that the Integra name will stay for the Bs and Cs and gas
Yep.
Class A under Jago. But yeah, it's a great. Both have good products, good reputations, and if you had to pick one over the other to consolidate, you're going to want to go to the Tiffin facility in Red Bay, Alabama.
Yep. And it does make sense. Now look at it from a strictly from a business perspective. Why have two production facilities, both devoted to smaller segments of the market, when you can combine them, have economies of scale, and have more consistency in the product because they're made at the same location by the same people. Really, the only thing that's different is the nameplate that's going to be on it. It's
Well, the
gonna,
other thing too, the Integra facility where the diesels are manufactured now can be
switch
pushed
over.
over to
Yep.
the gas and the B's and C's, or pick up another towables line and enhance the production on what they've already got out there. So I don't see a downside to this one at all.
Yep, exactly. So the other thing that we've seen is even though sales might not be what they were in the years immediately following COVID, which is going back 5 years already now, the rental demand for RVs continues to increase, which means maybe people are just putting their buying decisions back a little bit. And as our friend Sherry Fuller would like to say, try it before you buy it. So talk a
Yeah,
little bit about that.
I think so. I mean, 34% of the rental companies say their 2025 bookings are ahead of what they had for 24.
Yep.
And also, it's interesting too that they want larger units. So they may not be able to buy a larger unit, but when they rent, they want something that's going to handle 4 adults and 2 kids at a minimum.
Yep.
And a lot of people want to be able to take 6 kids on there,
Yep.
and they have large variety. And I thought they made some very good points. If you're, you know, a rental agent and you're competing against peer-to-peer networks, as Sherry will tell us, yes, they are out there, and a lot of people do rent their vehicles, but you don't know what the maintenance record is. You don't know who's had it before you, and every rental company gets them. They do a complete turnaround when it comes in and check the mechanics of it, check the inside, clean the product. And the hours of operation for the rental company, that should something happen to you at an inconvenient time. And oh, by the way, when you're RVing, it always happens at an inconvenient
Right.
time.
Right. Right.
You're going to have somebody that you can get a hold of that can help you fix the problem, or they'll send somebody out to do it.
Yeah. And there is a warning sticker on every rental RV that says, caution, if this RV breaks down, it will be between Friday night at 7 p.m. and Sunday morning at 10 a.m. when no one is available. And if they are available, you're going to have to wait a lot longer and pay a lot more money. But the interesting thing is as you had said, the capacity, they want larger capacities. And all the ones that I've had an opportunity to see, even in a Class C format, now with the bunks and the bunk over the driver's area, will still, show you some very, very, um, I don't want to say informative. What am I trying to say? Interesting, innovative. There's the word, innovative space utilization, so that you can get, you got 2 kids and you want to take two. Each of your kids want to take a friend with them, and you know what? You
Well,
can do that. So,
my kids always did. But again, when you have an established rental company, and it could be a dealer with a rental company, they've got specific hours to drop off and pick up. They wait for you. Um, they do an orientation for you. They don't want you to have a problem. Now, no question, somebody that owns their own RV that wants to rent it out through a peer-to-peer network is going to do their best possible orientation, but they are not working with other vehicles. They don't work on their own units. And when something happens, it could be a prolonged engagement to try to get service out to you on that. So there's a lot of good reasons to look into it, but it certainly makes a lot of sense, especially now with the economy slowing down a little bit. They might say, you know what, let's rent this year and we'll buy next year.
exactly.
And that's
Exactly.
why you're seeing that kind of activity.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it might be those people that say, well, let's rent this year with no intention of buying, but they fall in love with it and then
Right.
they buy after it. But you know what? You don't get that same capability to find out if you like RVing just by going to a dealership and looking at a showroom or a lot. You got to drive it, you got to feel it, you got to be on that highway with the kids in the back eating popcorn and that type of thing, and
And
just
check with your friends to see who else has rented before and what their experience was, and who they rented from, and would they recommend them again.
yep,
It's an exciting lifestyle. So if you go rent them for a couple of years, that's fine. But make sure you do it right so that you don't have an inconvenient experience.
yep. In our last bit of information and news comes from Dometic, where they're introducing a product called the 35K Furnace Essential. Now, everybody knows that a furnace in an RV, whether it be for heating hot water or heating the unit, is very important. And you know what? This description is beyond my capability to understand about, what they've done to make it
But
easy.
it makes your RV warmer, John.
It makes you warmer. Okay. Okay.
You
The
should
hot water heater is a
you should get
separate
one of these. You should get
separate
one of
thing.
these and put them in your office back home. You're
Yeah.
always cold.
Right, I'm cold right now. I've got look, it's May 5th that we're taping this, and I've got the heater on here in New England where you're 90 degrees in Florida. But talk about this Dometic product because every time Dometic puts something onto the market, it comes after years of testing and refining.
And this one also went into a major upgrade with new engineering and new something they call a Hall effect sensor. And quite honestly, I don't know what it is, but it's made of automotive grade debris resistance sensor, removes moving parts for increased durability and consistent performance. And Dometic is a name that RVers have been familiar with for over 100 years now. Didn't we just celebrate their 100th anniversary a couple of years ago? And so there's a lot of interest in heaters in the RV for the OEMs. So Truma leads the pack, I think, on some of the ones that are out there right now that the OEMs are putting. So it's going to give manufacturers another operation, and they don't. It's made in Greenbrier to do it, and it's another product that they're adding into what they call their land vehicle segment.
Here
So
we go.
yeah,
Whatever
that's
that means. I have no idea what you said. They said
something. Well,
it's a new product.
it's RVs. It's the new Overland adventure vans, camper vans. They're doing that, and they think it's just a smarter furnace in terms of their technology.
Cool.
But if it's got a Dometic name on it, you can be very comfortable buying it.
There we go. New diesels, new renters, and new heaters. All right here.
And a new manufacturing home for Integra in 2026.
There we go. It's all right here. Thanks to our friends at RV Business and Woodall's Campground Magazine. You are watching your turn.
The Camper Report Show.
There we go. Stay with us, everybody. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Camp Report Show. My name is John DePietro. And one of the cool parts of doing the Camp Report Show is that we get to meet some of the coolest, nicest, and most interesting people that you'll meet anywhere. And today is an exception because we have Mike and Susan with us. No, only kidding. Oh, no. Today is certainly an example of fun, interesting, cool people to meet. Mike and Susan, also known as AKA the RV blogger, or actually the RV bloggers, because Susan is a very integral part of the business. Mike's on one side of the camera, Susan's on the other side. And don't reverse it because you probably won't like what you see.
No, you won't.
You will not.
But anyway, so guys, tell us where you are right now. I mean, this is at least our third or fourth interview. We keep bumping into you at various industry events throughout the United States, but I understand you are in Florida.
We are. We're in Florida. We've already, gosh, it's only April 18th. We've already been from Maryland to California, back to Maryland, and now we're down in Florida. So we travel around quite a bit, but we're at the Thousand Trails in Orlando, Florida right now, and enjoying a few weeks here. This is a great spot for us because so many of our friends like this campground as well. So every time we come here, it's just a week or two of fun and activity with everybody that we've met along the way too. And so we really enjoy it here.
It's a great
Right.
community in this campground.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. A lot of people, well, you can stay what's the normal plan there? You stay for 3-4 weeks and then you have to move on, or?
Yeah.
Yeah,
21
you stay for
days.
2 or 3 weeks, depending on the type of plan that you have, and then you move on to another Thousand Trails campground, and you can stay there for a couple of weeks too. Um, we have a higher package because we're on the road all the
Yeah.
time, so we can
Yeah.
stay 3 weeks and go from resort to resort and all that stuff. But we love it, and it certainly helps to maintain our travel expenses.
So basically, you're homeless with roots.
Yes, pretty much.
So tell us how long this enterprise has been going, because every time I turn around, it seems like I get an email because I subscribe to your programs, and I'm just in awe of the content that you put together. I think it's 5 years or so, something like that.
Yeah, well, the website rvblogger.com, where we have, I think I have over 800 articles on there that we've written over the years. That just turned 6 years old back on December 4th. So we've been at this quite a while. Even though the website turned 6 years old, we actually began, learning how to blog and learning how to run a website and all that stuff a year before I ever made my first post online. So it's been a long time that we've been doing this, and the YouTube channel, RV Blogger, that just turned 5 years old in September. So that's 5.5 years old now. So
There you go.
yeah, we're getting a little long in the tooth, I guess you would
Yeah,
say, but we
exactly.
sure love it. We just
You know,
enjoy it much.
one of the questions, when we post these videos up on YouTube, one of the questions that we always get down below, and I always forget to ask it, but I've noticed it this time. Um, our viewers always want to say, "How did you start your RVing venture? What
Right.
got you into RVing?" And so many people say, "Well, it really happened by itself. It wasn't that we had this long plan that we wanted to start with a tent and go to a pop-up and then go to a travel trailer and then go to a Class A." What's your particular case?
Well, in our
Get into
case,
it.
Susan and I met almost 9 years ago. And I guess it was 7 years ago or so, we were going to go on a vacation. And back then, we were not RVers yet. We didn't own an RV. We were dating at the time. And so normally when I went on vacation, I'd go to an all-inclusive resort somewhere and spend a week relaxing. And Susan was like, "Hey, instead of doing that, why don't we rent one of these camper vans and go cruise the PCH in California?" And I was like, "Man, that sounds like a lot of fun." So
That's Pacific
um,
Coast Highway, right?
yes,
Right.
yep,
Yep.
yep. So we started researching it and figuring it out. And I'm like, these camper vans don't have bathrooms in them that you can rent. And she was like, "Well, you can rent an
Which
RV."
is much more important the older you get.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Bathrooms, right?
Uh,
Exactly.
so I had no idea you could even rent an RV. So we rented a Cruise America RV. We flew from Maryland to Vegas, rented the RV there because it was cheaper to fly to Vegas and rent an RV in
Yeah,
Vegas
then
than
dry
anywhere else
across.
in California.
Right.
So
Yeah.
started there, drove through Death Valley, drove to San Francisco. From San Francisco, we took the PCH all the way down to Huntington Beach, and then drove back through Joshua Tree back to Vegas to fly home. And honestly, it was the best 10 days of my life. I'm sure you've
Yes,
said the
mine
same
too.
thing. And so
I agree.
it
It was
ignited
the best 10 days of his life.
it absolutely was. It absolutely was. And we got back home and I'm sitting at work and I had a great job. I mean, I loved my job. Susan had a fantastic job. But I got back to work and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I need to
Concentrate.
find a way where we can be on the road RVing and enjoying our lives. Well, soon after that, we bought our first RV and we were learning how to use it and what to do and making tons of mistakes. And so in trying to figure out what business to create to be able to spring us to be on the road and leave our corporate jobs, I came up with the idea of starting a blog and eventually a YouTube channel.
There you go.
And so that's what happened. Now I began a year-long program of studying and learning how to do all this. I had no idea how to do anything on the internet or run a website or write blog articles or make YouTube video or anything. I had no idea. So it took a year to learn all of that before starting on December 4th, 1998. That was the release of our first blog articles on rvblogger.com.
Not 98.
Sorry,
2018.
2018.
2018.
2018.
Yeah.
Not bad, Mike. You only missed by 20 years.
Hey,
I wish we had started
at
back
my
then.
age,
Exactly
But I
right.
was, but we, because Mike had done so much research prior to us leaving on that vacation, that's when we kind of got the idea, like, well, you know, knowing how important that information was to us before we took off, it was one of those things like, hey, maybe we can do this in return. Maybe we have an opportunity to also give back to the community and help somebody who wants to vacation or travel, whether it's part-time or full-time. And so that kind of played a part in our decision making.
Yeah. Well, the interesting aspect of your content is that there really is something for everyone. But you look back now, do you look back like I have done and see some of your earliest videos and say, I can't believe I put my name on that? Have you ever done
We kind
that?
of try not to watch.
we try not to, but
We did watch one.
we watched our very first tour video called 8 Small Campers with Bathrooms. And we did that tour at the Hershey RV show
In 2019.
in 2019. And we didn't know what we were doing. It was our first tour video. And who has 8 RVs in one video? These knuckleheads. That's who. And so,
And eight's not even a number. I mean,
No,
it's
no.
either 5 or 10 or 15. You came up with 8.
yep.
And that was the other
Gotta be
question that I
different.
wrote down. You've got some amazing titles, like here, like 35 biggest mistakes, 10 best camping classics or something. What am I? Can't even read it. 10 best camping something or other. Can you get a beat? Can a bear get into your RV? Where are your topics coming from? Is this something that at 2 o'clock in the morning after you've had ice cream,
Not ice cream.
that
Well,
you can't sleep?
our topics come from a wide variety of sources. I mean, first of all, we get questions on our YouTube channel. We have some of our subscribers just email me directly and ask questions. And then we have a Facebook group that has, I think, over 172,000 people in there now. And so, I mean, I go through there and I just pick questions out like crazy because you can sort of see the themes that people are looking for. And so we get all of our questions from people that watch and follow us.
Mm-hmm.
We spend the first couple hours every morning actually answering people's questions. It's a big part of our day.
Yeah.
But we enjoy that because it's our way of interacting with our followers and learning about them and being able to provide useful information to everyone. It keeps us in touch with the community, really.
Yeah. And I'm sure that's one of the reasons that at least the YouTube channel has grown to almost right around 200,000 subscribers. And did you ever think that would be within?
No.
We pinch ourselves.
When we started, we were looking at like KYD and Changing Lanes and Phil and Stacy from Today Someday, and we never thought we'd be catching up to any of those guys. And my opinion of YouTube, it was too that it's very, very, very difficult to make money on YouTube. And so I just thought we're not going to make money on it, but it's just really a way for us to interact and be in front of our customers and sort of not our customers, but our community and create
It's our
that
way to reach out to everyone.
Yeah.
And so another platform to be able to show content.
Yep. And be able to interact with our followers and answer questions and things like that. So I never really thought it would take off like it did. It was really a big surprise. And we've seen other channels too that weren't as fortunate, and I just thought we'd be, at a much lower subscriber rate than we are.
Yep. Ever look back and say, if I had to do it all over again, would you do the same thing? Or would number one, would you do the same thing? And if the answer is yes, is there any major aspect of it that you would change and do differently?
Honestly, as I look back on it, of course, there are things that we would change. We started RV Blogger first, and then very late, maybe a couple years ago, we started TravelTrailerPro.com and MotorHomeFacts.com, and those, they cater to those two audiences.
Right. Yeah.
I probably would have started those websites sooner. One thing I'm really glad I did, but I wish I started sooner, was accumulating our email list. You know, we've had over 165,000 people subscribe to our newsletters that we send out every week. And John, you get them.
Yes. Right.
We send out 4 newsletters a week. And so one of them is for folks that want to watch our YouTube videos. One is for folks that follow us on RV Blogger. And then we have another newsletter for TravelTrailerPro.com that goes out to travel trailer folks, and another newsletter for MotorhomeFacts.com that goes out to folks interested in motorhomes. And so, you know, I wish I would have started collecting emails sooner than we did, although we've collected so many. It's really helped our business quite a bit, especially with the way, you know, the Google landscape has changed over the past year.
Absolutely.
If we didn't have our email list, we would be in big trouble. So I'm glad we started those things. I wish I had started it sooner, but it's still worked out really well for us.
Fact is, you're happy what you did and happy what you've done and happy what you're doing.
Yeah.
And looking forward, we look forward to more great videos. I always enjoy and look to see, well, wait a minute, what can he come up with now? It seems like he's done some with rear toilets, one with rear kitchen, some with kitchens on the roof, some with solar, some with, you know,
And we're always looking for topic ideas. So if anybody has a topic idea, send it our way.
Right. I was reading the one and then I said, wait a minute, it's time to put you on the air. The one about how to dump your black tank at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I'm in a condo, so they probably wouldn't like that.
Probably not.
You know, whatever. But we want to thank you so much for taking time from your busy day. People have the false impression that if you do a lot of videos and you know, are a personality in the industry, that you really do nothing all day and you only spend a day a week putting stuff together. That is not the case at all.
No.
Not the case at all.
It takes a lot of work. I work more now than I did when I worked in my corporate job.
I think when you work for yourself, you're working
Totally
24/7 in some fashion, because you're always thinking about work and what I could be doing, and I need to, you know, address a topic. And so
yesterday, for example, we were up at 6 in the morning. We were out the door early.
We drove 2 hours to a dealership to shoot tours
of RVs that we've never seen before. We're always looking for new stuff. And so we went and found these all plastic RVs that are super light. So look for those to be coming out soon, but we're looking for unusual and interesting things for our audience all the time.
Listen, you bring up the 24/7 just a second ago. And when I push the stop record button here, I am heading to Lexington, Massachusetts in the RV, because this weekend is the 250th anniversary of the first shot of the American Revolution. So tonight at 10 o'clock, they are going to reenact the Midnight Ride of Paul Revere.
That is
cool. My children, you shall hear of the Midnight Ride of Paul Revere. What, one, if by land, and two,
if by sea.
By sea. So anyway, that's 10 o'clock tonight. Okay. And then at 3 o'clock in the morning, just 5 hours later, I've got to get across town to the Lexington battlefield that shows where the first shot was fired when the British, you know, the British are coming. But that I've got to be there at 3 in the morning for a 5:30 event. But the fact that I've got the RV is I've got my library parking lot that I already scoped out yesterday. And, you know, I'm going to be there tonight, but the RV is making it possible. But like you say, who'd have thunk that, you know, the American Revolution would have anything to do with RVing? Well, right down the street, there's a great campground called Minuteman Campground, which is part of the Spacious Skies group. And people will stay there. Now, I'm not staying there tonight because I've only got 2 hours back and forth. But there's great campgrounds, and this will be a great year for people to come to New England, especially Boston and Lexington and Concord, because it's this year and next year are the big, more than bicentennial. It's 250 for both Lexington and Massachusetts. And
that's awesome. Well, I wore the right shirt today.
You did. There you go.
We the RVers shirt on, and
the RVers. There you go.
There you go. Now that
Courtesy of our Everyday Getaway.
our friends at Our Everyday Getaway make these t-shirts, Chris and Katrina. So check out Our Everyday Getaway if you want to get one of them. But we support those guys. They make some great videos as well.
Great. Well, you know what? Next time you see me, I might have a three-cornered hat on.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Oh,
That'd be cool.
nice.
And a little musket and everything. And
But we want to thank you for being here and being part of the Camper Report Show. Wish you the best. And maybe this summer, if you make it up to the Northeast, we'll be able to get together again.
that would
Will
be
do.
awesome. That would be,
Will
and
do.
thanks for having us, John. We
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
Have a great day, everybody. Mike and Susan, the RV blogger or the RVblogger.com. What is the website?
Just rvblogger.com.
RVblogger.com, and same thing on YouTube. And they've got some great content, and you will enjoy them. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Camper Report Show. And my special guest this morning is Tracy Engelmeyer. And Tracy, you got a lot of titles here, but you're chair-elect of RVWA, and if I got
Yes,
that right, and
Yep.
you're chair of the RV Charitable Foundation. And
Yes.
I don't know where to start, so I'm going to turn it over to you. For folks that may not know who you are in the industry, which I think is impossible, but give a little background, and then we got a bunch of topics to talk about.
I've been in the industry, and I usually hate to put the years out there because it kind of dates you. But so I started the industry in 1990.
Tell me about it. Yeah.
So 35 years in, I did 25 years as an OEM manufacturer rep. I actually started out in parts and warranty, so I know parts and service, flat rate manuals, all the way through sales, product management, and then went to the supplier side. I was VP at a couple different suppliers, so helped also worked at RVIA with the RV Technical Institute and recruiting technicians. So kind of a past history background. So
You touched it all. I think the only thing you left out is you didn't own a dealership, but you went all around it, inside it, up and down, but you got a great grasp on it.
worked with a lot of them.
You know, I was there when Susan launched RVWA, and what that team has done, including you, because you're a critical part of what they're doing these days, has absolutely been amazing, and it's such an asset to the industry and women in the industry. Tell us why that's important to you, and what your goal is in helping other women.
Better the industry. My whole career has been about bettering the industry. And as you go through, you start with a job, and then to me, you go to a career, and now I'm more about giving back, right? So, I was instrumental in the mentor program. I founded the mentorship program of giving back now, making better, helping the next generations come up. Hopefully not making the errors that we made or hit the pitfalls that we did, that we can help them. And times are changing, which, my mentors are great. I actually have a couple mentors right now, and they're teaching me some things, which is great, the way it should be. But, really giving back and really making the industry better as a whole. Also with the RV, I founded the RV Tech program for ladies, and, breaking down those barriers that we don't realize are there. We've learned that women just excel and learn more when they're in a setting with women.
Yep.
So, just finding out those little intricate details, just like with the Hitch and Go that we're putting on, they just excel at, they're not as nervous and they ask more questions when they're in a certain setting. So what can we do to make it better?
And that's where a lot of the learning does come in. The networking and the learning, and of course your tagline is educate, elevate, educate, promote, and the foundation of that is getting women together in a setting, and they realize I can do that because she's doing it, she's successful, and I think that's one of the reasons why the association grew so quickly. Once women realized that they had a home and they had people who would mentor them, that really is amazing. Talk a little bit about that RV Tech program, though, because we know we always talk about, and RVTI has just done an amazing job of bringing people into the industry and technicians. And sometimes people don't think of female technicians, but in most cases, they're better service writers, they're better technicians, because whether guys like it or not, women are much more detailed than we are.
Very much more detail oriented. Yeah. They're very precise in their steps and their procedures. And they're actually better with the retail consumers and talking to them. It's just that communication difference. It's nothing against the guys, at all. And
Yeah.
there's some great techs on both sides there. So, I'm all about technicians. We need more out
So
there.
talk
We need more
about
skilled trades.
the tech programs that you have for women.
So we started this about 4 years ago, and have really grown it. What's very unique though about what RVWA is doing that's different is we're adding soft skills in now to it also. So we're teaching the regular curriculum, but the industry is really screaming for soft skills right now. And so we're able to put that in there. And now having female instructors with Jessica Ryder, being a female instructor, I'm also a certified female instructor, that we can give the perspective of how to work across the channels in the industry. Jessica is actually a mobile technician, so she has her own business in mobile tech.
Right.
So she can talk to them about, this is how I traverse this, and this is where I get my parts from, and this is how I deal with the OEMs or a dealership, and it's really helping across the board in just opening things up and the communication within the industry.
That's, and it's been very successful too. And of course, you mentioned the mentorship, which is critical. Everybody needs that. The other thing, one of the things that you do, which I think is fantastic, is your community impact. You're out there in front of other people, and again, giving back. And you've had some pretty interesting projects. Want to pick out one and talk about it, or?
Wow, there's so many.
I know.
When I was in charge of events as an initial board member, I don't know why Susan just chose me for events. Thank goodness Pamela came in because she's great at events. But I started Habitat for Humanity, and I'm like, why don't we give back? It was our first year of being an organization, and why don't we start to give back? So we do that. We do the Truma days with trash pickups. We're doing Pack a Backpack this year for the kids in the area. There's just so many things that we do giving back also. And that's part of it. And I think every board member feels that way. And it's part of it, just bringing the community together. It takes all, you can't do it by yourself. And, why don't we help others also that are out there?
And you just recently had the spring camp out.
Wow.
Talk a little bit about that. Not the secret.
Those are always fun.
Not the secrets, and then kind of gravitate into your golf tournament.
Yeah. So camp out, this is our third year of having the camp out, and it's a Friday through a Sunday. And I think we had 115 there this year. It's just a fun getaway camp, network weekend that everybody just loves. They swarm to come to the camp out, which is really good. There's also a lot of learning that goes on there. We also give back. Care camps, we did their craft sessions this year for them and put things together for them to take back. We've done Girl Scouts before in the past. We've done different pet refuge that we give to. So there's fun. And then there's some give back that goes with it. And there's learning, because there's always something that goes on with the RV that somebody's jumping in to help somebody else.
Yep.
We had left core problem, or we had a heater that didn't light, or we had it's great. So we're all there to help.
Also, they don't necessarily have to own an RV, because they can rent a cabin. So even if they're just starting to get into this lifestyle.
We had people in tents. We had cabins. We had quite a few of 3-4 different of the OEMs actually bring in RVs for their people to stay in, which was great.
Nice.
So
nice.
Which is really nice. Yeah, it's also great for their people and the education of them of, if they haven't camped before, this gets them camping. Now they understand the consumer better when they're dealing with them. So
right, you gotta know the language of the customer.
Yeah, know the language.
If you don't know what the customer is going through, you're not going to resolve the problem.
No.
And I can point to people in this industry that are in very high positions who have never been in one of their products. They've never gone
Everybody
out.
needs to camp. You need to
Yep.
go out and camp. Just get
Right,
out. It's
right.
fun.
All right, talk about golf.
Golf. So with the new charitable foundation, we put together a golf scramble to benefit the charitable foundation this year. So it is June 20th. It will be at Meadow Valley in Middlebury, and all proceeds go back to the charitable foundation. So another fun event that we're just putting on for everybody out there in the industry. So put a team together and come on out.
Okay, our guest this morning is Tracy Engelmeyer, Chair-elect of RVWA and Chair of the Charitable Foundation. We only got a couple minutes left, Tracy. Let's go on a recruiting tour. You know, sometimes we like to talk within the industry, but
Mhm.
if we look at how successful RVTI was getting outside of the industry, explaining careers, not just a job, it's a career. You get in this
Career.
industry, you can stay in this industry for the rest of your life. So make your pitch to women who might be watching this who never thought about working in the RV industry.
There is any job that you would like to do in the RV industry. And people think about maybe just sales or maybe just tech, but there's everything to do in this industry, just like there isn't any other industry, whether it's marketing or it's F&I, you know, it's sales and technicians to PDIs to, you know, everything. So what's great about this industry is it's very supportive of each other. You know, it's everybody says it's small. It's really big when you look at the economic impact of our industry, but we're very small. We network. It's a great industry. There's great people in this industry.
You're right.
And there's so much to do.
That's very well put. And one of the other things that I enjoy about the industry is there's no egos. I mean, you could be sitting down next to Bob Martin, the CEO of Thor, and if he didn't tell you who he was, you wouldn't know. You could be
Great guy.
sitting down with Bob Tiffin, any,
Yep.
and so from the CEO to the entry level person, when they walk down the factory floor, they say hello, they communicate,
Yep.
and you can talk, and they're very approachable. I know from a media standpoint, you pick up the phone and call them, and if they're not there,
They're
they
great.
call you right back.
From Doug Gedart to Don
Right.
Clark to, you know, who do you want to pick up and call? And they'll answer that phone.
Yep.
It's great.
Fantastic. Well, Tracy, I want to thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank
It's
you.
always a pleasure to have you on, and we will be posting this up on Friday. I'll send you the link, and
Perfect.
you've
And don't
served
forget our big
RV.
symposium, Bob. So we got
Huh?
that symposium in
Oh, yeah,
October. That's
go
always
ahead.
huge.
I'll stretch it for you, Katie. Talk about the symposium.
Oh, you can't miss a symposium. So you want to talk about elevating and educating. So it's all about education and networking and bettering yourself. So we have 3 great speakers this year coming in. It's in October 15th and 16th in Chicago. So it's close to O'Hare if you're flying in.
Yep.
So yeah, we have a lot of just making yourself better, how to better the industry overall and work together. So it's great networking.
So we should tell them where to go to find out all this good stuff.
rvwa.org.
All right.
Always.
Tracy, thanks very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us and supporting RVWA.
All right.